there everybody, it's Handmade Shirley. I'm on to day 7, I had to think about that one, of the 12 Days of Christmas in July collaboration with 5 other collaborators. So I thought I'd come on and do this hexagonal gift box because it says Festive Box for the prompt for today. So I've worked out, I've had quite a few mistakes, but I've managed to kind of work something out, and I've got a pretty nice hexagonal shaped box which will go in like that. There'll be a ribbon to hold it and it will get decorated. So this is my prototype one, and I've got all my pieces cut out, all my measurements. I've got 2 quite, they're not that thick pieces of white, but I want to do it in white, and I've got some green pieces here and some layers to go along with it, and I'm going to pop some gold ribbon hopefully around the top at this bit, which will hold all these bits in together, and I'm going to put a little tag and stuff on it as well. So what you need to start off with if you want to make this hexagonal star topped box is you need 2 pieces of A4 card, any colour, any, could be patterned. It should probably be a wee bit thicker than mine. Mine isn't particularly thick. And you then cut them to 6.5 by 8, so both the same, 6.5 by 8. You also need 2 base pieces, well actually 4 base pieces, because I'm going to double these up. So 1 piece will go inside and 1 piece will go on the bottom. Now you're probably thinking that they're not this right shape, but what I will do is there's a way, I've got a template here, there's a way we can get that to work. Quite easy, we'll just do a few wee marks on the bottom. So you need, if your card's thick enough, you only need 2. If it's not quite thick, you maybe need a thicker bit and a sort of base bit, whatever. So that's that. So they measured, did I say they were 3.5 by 4? And then you need 6 panels. You can either just have 1 panel, because I did do some embossing. I was going to do panels on that prototype, but I didn't. So I did do some embossing with a Christmassy embossing folder. You can just kind of see there, but then I decided not to use that, but I'll keep that for something else. So you need 6 pieces of, if you're doing like a double mat layer. If you're not doing a double mat layer, I would just do these at 5 3/4 by 1 3/4. But if you're doing a double like me, you'd make these slightly bigger of 5 3/4, 5 1/4. So I think I made this just in between, just past two probably 1/8 past the 5 1/4, and 2/8 past the 1 3/4. And then I made these layers by 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then they'll just go on top, and it's just because this is slightly thinner paper, well, card, just to give it a bit of stability. So there's that. So we're going to come to the scoring now. So we're going to use a scoreboard. So let's start our scoring. I'll just move that out the way. Now you do need a ruler as well. If it's metal, even better, but any ruler would really work. So I'm going to do one at a time. So on the short side, which is the 6.5 side, you need to score it at 2, 4, and then 6. And then you need to turn it to the long side, the 8 inches side, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 6. Okay, and then you're going to do that on both pieces. So, wrong way, short side is that right? Short side, yeah, 2, 4 and 6 inches. Turn it round and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 6. There we go. Okay, we haven't quite finished our scoring bit, but we're going to do the next bit with a ruler. So before we do that, we're just going to fold and burnish these lines like that. Okay, so all the score lines are going to get folded and burnished, and then we're going to do some more scoring and then cutting. So that's that one, and then we do exactly the same, fold and burnish all these score lines. And a bit at the bottom, this bit at the top. That. So the next thing we want to do is to get this star part at the top. We need to do scores diagonally across all these squares at the top, so that when we come to the end we can push it in, and we've got that, and you can see that star shape just there. So first things first, we want to get our metal ruler, or a ruler of some sort, and want to go from that corner of the square. So it's these squares at the top. There's a little line of rectangles, it's not them, it's these squares at the top, and we're just going to pop our, we're going to use our ball tool, and I'm just going to do that all the way along. So from this point up to that point might be better with a smaller one, actually, and the same to here. Oh, sorry folks. And then the same to here as well. And then we're going to do exactly the same the opposite way. So from this line, this vertical or even horizontal score line at the corner to this vertical line at the top, not vertical, yeah, vertical line, sorry, and we're just going to score that. So a couple of times do that, so that we end up with a sort of crisscross effect. You will see it. So we'll do this, and then I'll go off camera and do the rest, and then I'll come back, because you don't really want to watch me doing, I'm sure, all of that. Go, and then the same, just up, not to the edge of the paper here. It's just going to be into that square, from that diagonal to that diagonal. So there we go. I just want to get that in. So you see you've got that. You can see it, I'm sure. So I'll just go away and do that, and then I'll come back. Right, so I've done that now, and you can see, I'm sure you can see in the screen that I've done that. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to cut, so do some cutting. Oh, actually there's one other thing I need to do. So I need to get the scoreboard back, nearly forgot. So to create this bit here at the top, so you can see the diagonal folds I've done, there's a little bit of a score that goes up from the middle of where the diagonal meets to, so the middle for the diagonals need to the top of the card so that that will fold in when it needs to. So that's what that bit's for. So to get that, we have to go to our short side, and we just want to find a track and go down to that fold. Find a track and go down to that fold, and this, so you're only going to the centre piece, you're not going all the way down. So it's basically at 1, at 3 and at 5. Okay, 1, 3 and 5. So 1, oh, it's gone off track there. 3 and 5. Okay, so that's that put in, and now we can cut. So to cut it, what you need to do, and then we can fold it. Or do we fold it first? No, I think we can cut it first. I'm going to get rid of that as well. Just now, got my scissors here. So what we want to do is on the bottom, we want to cut on the score line at this very bottom bit here, which has got, so adjacent on the bottom to the cubes at the top, the 3 cubes at the top, there should be 3 and a little bit of a square on the bottom. So we want to cut up that score line all the way along, so actually on the score line if you can. And then what we're going to do is actually take a triangle out of each. So a triangle out of there, so I call it a wedge. So it kind of has that, and then it just comes away. So basically 2 wedges, 1 at each side, like that, and that at the end. Now when you come to this end piece, you want to, this end piece, as you turn it round, you want to do this as a wedge as well, so that when that folds over, it won't have anything to do with this bottom part here. And then you want to also wedge this piece here at that end. Okay, so you want to do that on both bits, so it just makes for a neater bottom. Sounds a bit rude, but neater bottom. So just taking that out again. So just 2 little kind of triangle shapes at the side of that line, that score line. And then this one just sort of gets a bit of that for there. Okay, now to get the top half done, to get this bit, what we need to do is we need to fold and burnish all these bits. So if we fold and burnish all these bits along the way, so we can just flop that. So we've done all that. Now we need to actually cut this piece. So this line up the side, at the end of the 3 rectangles, we're just going to cut into here at the minute. We will do something in a minute. So we then want to, once we've done it all the way along on one way, so we've folded all these along that way, we want to fold them along this way as well. So it's just a case of taking your time, going round that fold line so that you get that, just burnishing it like that. Then when you get to the next one, it's exactly the same, so you're looking to go that way. So it's just so that we've got these lines burnished and in place, so it all looks like it's nice and crisp and it's going to work. Now to get these bits at the top, we're just going to actually push them in the way. So we want to push them in the way, or we could push them out. is another way. You could push them out the way, actually, that's probably easier. So just find the line that you've scored, push it in a bit, and then line it up with, it should be flush with your top half. So line that up and then just give it a wee burnish, and the same with this last piece. So, and then bring that bit. It's quite fiddly, but it does work. It really does work. It does. So you then have that. So if you do that on both sides, but to get this to be quite nice, and so I'm going to wedge that piece as well, and I'm going to wedge this piece, and I'm going to wedge that piece. Now that might need trimmed when it comes to popping it together, but we can sort that then. So I'm just going to go ahead and do exactly the same with this other piece. So we could fold first. So fold over all these pieces of diagonal scoring, and then turn it back and do it the opposite way. Just making sure they're all folded. Now it's not as hard as it looks. It's maybe looking a bit daunting, but it's really not as hard as it looks. If you follow the video, I'm sure you will manage to do it. So let's just pop these in as well. Well, out or in, what you want to call them. Just squeeze it together with your fingers, put it down, and just give it a burnish. And then the third one of these, we can just do the same, and that's just how it works. And then I'm going to just cut this again, so just exactly the same, cut up that score line, cut off a little triangular wedge, and also onto here. So you're aiming for that line that you've scored, and that's how it works. So that is it more or less done. Apart from, we have got a few bits and pieces that are still to do, so it is going to be probably quite a long video. So we want to put these together like this. First of all, now I'm trying to see which way is the better way to pop it on the outside. So yeah, that's right. So before we actually do pop it together, that's going to be my outside. So I am going to pop these on first. So if I can just get my glue together, I can pop this layer on first, because it's always better to try and do a bag or a box, I should say, when it's flat, when the box isn't made up. It's much easier just to do that. Put all these bits on first. Yeah, it's definitely much easier to I mean, there's a piece here where I've got to put the base inside and the base outside, so it's quite tricky. But on most boxes you can actually do all the decorating first and then put it together. So just popping these together. Make sure there's enough. That's it. And then do this one as well. So these things are always really easy when you know how, aren't they? But it's when you're trying to get this thing to work and put it together, it's not that easy. But, you know, that's the fun of it, I think, learning new techniques and challenging yourself. I think that's important as well, challenge yourself if you can, I'll come down a bit because I'm conscious I get out of camera shot sometimes. And if I do, I'm very sorry. So put all these pieces on. As I say, if you're using thicker card, you don't need to do a double layer. This is just because I've got quite thin. So let's see, that one would go there. I think that one goes on there. I'm just trying to keep it, because it's got the directional sort of design, just trying to keep it that design. And some of my papers are still quite raggy because I've still not found my new blades that I bought. But anyway, I'll have to have a look for them. So, yep. There's only a tiny little border around this, just a hint of the green around it, just to keep it all the same and looking nice. And then that one can go there. Annoying that, but just trying to get these wee fluffy bits a bit away, a wee bit. It's not particularly working though. Right, so that's one piece, so we're going to do the same with this, just exactly the same. So these papers are ones I used, I think, in another project. I think I've used them on the shaker card. And these are from Cutie Sue Designs. I got them, I'm sure it was last year or maybe the year before, but it's lovely paper. Just a lovely kind of Christmas ethereal type looking papers are really nice. So let's just, yeah, that does go in there, doesn't it? I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody else is going to be doing, because it's always so much fun thinking, oh yeah, I never thought like doing that, or blah blah blah. So we're all going to do, I'm sure, very different projects, so please do head over and see everybody's videos, because as I say, they're all going to be different. None of them are going to be the same. Everybody portrays things so much different from other people. Right, so that's that, and that's going to end up going on to there like that to make our box up. But before we do that, I'll just want to do this bit at the bottom. So what I'm actually going to do is, I shouldn't have put the glue away, I'm going to just glue these two pieces together like this, and the same with these ones, because this will give me a nice sturdy base. And you're thinking, what on earth is she doing? Because they're not the same shape as the box is going to be. Right, but I've got a wee trick for you up my sleeve. So I'm just popping that onto there as well. Right, so to get this shape, what we need to do is we need to get our ruler again, And because this measures 3 by, what is it, 3 by 3.5 by 4, on the 4 side, on the bit that measures 4, I'm going to turn it over because you won't see that bit. So on the piece that measures 4, you're going to get a pen or a pencil. I've got a pen. And you're going to do a little mark just at 1 inch and at 3 inches. And you're going to do the same at the bottom, exactly the same at 1 inch. Oh, get this in the screenshot. Let's see. Yes, that's good. So at 1 inch and at 3 inches, and then you're going to turn it round to the shorter side, and you're going to put a wee mark at 1 3/4, which is there roughly, and the same here, 1 3/4. Okay, and then you're going to do that on here. So at, what did I say, at 1 and at 3 and at 1 3, then turn it round, and you're going to put a mark at 1 3/4, which is here, and same at the side. And then you're going to draw some lines from these bits to there. So from there to here, from here to, and they might be slightly out, but we can adjust it to there. And this creates your hexagon shape. So is that one? Is it? Yeah, that's kind of one. I suppose it is. I'll just do it there. And then same 2. Is that 3? Just getting it right. Yeah, that's 3. That's cool. And then there, and then you're going to do exactly the same here. Just checking my measurements are, that one's a wee bit, no, it's actually fine. And this one is fine, and yeah, they're fine, so that's good. So from the marks you've made on this, you're just going to draw a line. Oh, that didn't work. Then your pen works. Come on. That's because I didn't press on it, that's why. Daft me. And just here as well. That's going to work. And here as well. And then all you're going to do is cut it with great big scissors. If you've got them, you could trim it on your trimmer. So we're just going to cut these bits off, and you have your hexagon. That's one, and we're just going to do another one. It's getting a wee bit dull in here, so I might have to put some lights on. So there we go, we've got our 2 hexagons, which we need for the base. I'm just going to go and put the lights on, so I'll be back in a minute. Right, so I've popped some lights on, and that should be better. Now, I just want to do another couple of wee bits before I now what did I do with that punch? Punch. I don't know what I've done with it actually. I know what I was going to do. What I was actually going to do was not a punch. I was going to make a slightly smaller hexagon as a tag. So, to get a slightly smaller hexagon, what I would need to do is think about this. Oh, we'll do that in a minute. We're not going to do that now. So to get this to go together, what we need to do is, first of all, actually I need to check if that is, so there, if you fold this back first, there's this little flap here at the top on both of these. So if you fold that back and then look there, you can see there's a bit of an overhang. So just cut that away, and that will be, you will get a nice neat piece there. So that's fine. And then if you do it at the opposite side as well, so that means you have to do it, is it that way? No, you then have to do the same here. So what you would do is, how did I do this? That's it, that turns back. So that wee flap, so you fold it diagonally into that corner for this wee flap, and you see that that's over the end. So you just cut it straight along to the same size as the bit of diagonal. So that just won't stick out now. You should also be able to do that with the other way, but I'm trying to see how I did it the last time. So the other way is you do it the other way and you fold it back, and then there's a wee flap there. So if we can just cut that off, and that means that'll be nice and it'll sit in and it won't be above here when we glue it together. So we'll just do exactly the same with this side. So it's this bit at the end with the flap. So fold it back, and it's I think it's fine. Let's see, that's the wrong way I've done it, isn't it? So fold that, fold it back, and if it's over, which is slightly, just cut that away. Okay, still a bit over. And then if you do the opposite way, fold that back, it's actually fine there. So that's fine. So let's get this glued together. So to glue it together, what we do is we want to put the flap on the inside. Okay. So these flaps will go on, the glue will go on there, the flap will go on the inside, and when we've done that, we'll turn it over, and that will be there, like that. And then when we're doing this one, it will go onto the inside of here. So let's just do this first. So you can use sticky tape, you can use wet glue, which I find is better, and that's what I'm going to use. So keeping it the same way up with the pattern paper on the top, you're going to put glue on this thin flap down here. Okay, and then with the straight side, because you need that other flap to be on the left, these other two, you're going to just line it up. Now you need it to be able to still bend in half. So you need it to be able to just be at that score line and no more, because you don't want it to go over the score line or it won't bend. See what I mean? It won't bend in half, and then you can score that, they can burnish that, and you can see what I mean. You can fold it over and it's just at that score line there, as if it was just meant to be there. Give that a good old press down. You can press it down with your bone folder, just to give it a good press down. Okay, and you can do it inside as well. So what we need to do next is we want to put this piece, so we're going to fold it after two, so after two bits here, plus the flap, which we're going to glue on the inside, so that when after two flaps, it's actually after three flaps, not two. And then we're just going to glue it there, and that will meet up with that other edge. Okay, so we just fold it in half. But we need to bring the flap over, so over, and we put glue onto here because it's going to glue on the inside of our box. So we can actually bring this over as well if we want to. That up to that line. We need to move it a bit because it's not quite in place. So just make sure it all lines up. There's a bit of not cut there actually. I need to do that. So make sure it lines up at the top and the bottom as much as you can before you actually kind of glue it down. Probably could have pulled up slightly there, but I've done it now. And then you can just open that, or you can just burnish it all the way up there. Okay, and I haven't, need to do a wee bit of a wedge here. I don't know why I've not done that, so just remember to try and wedge all these off like that. That's fine. So that's your box done. Now I've just realised I should have done something else before I actually glued it together, so I may have to take it out and do it again. So it's not going to be easy. So I just realised I'm going to have to take this apart. Try to not rip it too much. I've just realised there's something I need to do and I haven't done it. So, you know, because there's a lot of elements to this box, I'll fix that in a minute. You won't be doing this. It's just me that's done it. You will not be doing this. So I'm just going to cut that bit off. And cut that bit off. Sorry, folks. Just realised there's a bit that I should have done before gluing it together. So there's always a way to get out of things. Right, so what I meant to actually do before I glued it together was to put these bits together all need holes in them. So if you've got a crocodile, please use it. I don't. I've only got this little. Well, I do have a punch, but it just won't work. It's too big. So just go into that. It's this wee bit here at the top. You need to double it up and then punch it so that the ribbon will go through. Okay, so that's that. That's why I needed to take it out again. I forgot to tell you that piece. So this bit all the way along needs to get punched. So just put the two bits together and just try and punch it. Try and get it in. It is quite fiddly, but it should actually go in. So once I've done that, I'll come back. Right, so I've done it all, and then I just want to show you how I've did it. So instead of pushing it in, it's harder to do it pushing it in. So push it out to the back and then get whatever it is, preferably a crocodile because it does work. Just put these two, oh I missed that one. Put them together and then just do a hole. I need to go slightly further down into that one because it does work because I've done it all the way along. Let me just get this into here a bit more. See if I can just go a bit further down into that. So yeah, so it should look like that without these bits. Oh dear, and now we can actually put it together. So sorry about that, folks, but that was just one of the things I hadn't written down. I was just thinking that my memory might serve me well and I might do it without thinking, but I didn't. So And just getting this back into place, moving up to fix into here as well as we can. Just trying to get it as straight as possible. There we go. Let's just give it a good old burnish now, because now that it's been opened up and then dearie me. So there we go. Let's get that sorted now. So we need to pop our bottom on. So I'm just going to push these flaps in. Now it looks like I've done it wrong, but I haven't, because that's what we want to see at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to put our bottom on, and we're going to put the bit inside on first. So what we need to do for that is we need to put a little bit of glue all round here. We want it to be the green bit inside up the way. So I'm just going to go around, because obviously it's just these flaps. If I was to glue in the middle, it wouldn't work. So this is a bit hard to do, but what I need to get is the shape again. So we've got that kind of shape there. So I want to just pop this in, and it will work. It just needs to, sort of just bash the camera. It just needs a little bit of, what's the word? A little bit of sort of, I can't think of the word. Teasing into shape. So I've got this big glue, and I'm just popping that on to make sure that, and then that's what it would look like on the bottom. So when we come to put this bit on, we're going to put our base bit on. We're going to put it on all of these, plus this piece as well, and then we're going to pop this into place. Now there's a wee bit there that's got some white, and a wee bit there. I'm just being a bit pernickety there. So I just want to see if this is going to fit onto here without too much jiggery pokery. So it is basically, there is a few bits that are a bit out, like this bit here, so I can easily sort that. So I'm just going to go back in with my bottle just to pop that in. Make sure it's stuck down. So you see it's got a nice bit. This is probably slightly out at the bottom there. And there's a bit here that's slightly coming across. So I'm just going to give that a wee cut away. I think that's okay. There is a wee bit here as well. So just cutting that to make it nice and neat. So now what we need to do is we push all these pieces in. So all these bits that have the holes, we're going to push these in the way. Not out the way, in the way. That goes in the way, that goes in the way, and that goes in the way. And then we end up with that nice star shape, like that. I think that goes in as well. Yeah, so all these folds fold in the way. Okay. And that's what gives us our lovely star top. That goes in the way. Yeah, these will go in the way. It does make a star. So there's your star. You can see it there. So I'm just going to now pop in some ribbon. Now I've got gold ribbon. It's not really hot. Oh, sorry, I've bumped the camera. So I'm going to just take off a lot more than I need. And then what I need to do is just start. Now I'm trying to look for the back of my, where was the join? That's it there. So I'm just going to go through here and through. It's a wee bit fiddly as well, but it does have a nice effect when done. So just go through there, and it does make a noise because it's that type of ribbon, which has got a bit glittery on it. So just pulling that through. We'll get this through soon. So just going in and out like that all the way along. Now you could put anything in there. You could actually put a whole little sort of nail kit. You could put a small buffer in it, some nail polish. You could put a small hand sanitizer. You could put all that in it. You could even put lots of chocolates in it. You could put hand creams in it. Lots of different things you could fix in that, and you could even make these for your family at Christmas. So it's just a bit temperamental, this. We'll just get this bit through, or shall we just, I'm probably not going to need all that actually. Let's just cut that bit off. Oh, sorry folks, I've bashed that again. My mistake. So through here, it's just a shame I cut these. Funny. But if you have got a crocodile, it'll work. I need to get one. Because the one that I have got, it's got a really bulky bit in it, and that's why it doesn't really work. Because you can't get into kind of do the hole. So let's turning that one round a bit. That's fine. And then we just come to the last bit here. If we can get it through. And then we can chop it down and add a little, oh, I can see it go through. Add some. So there we go. So that's going to go in. That's going to go in there. Let me see, is that correct? I want it to be a star shape, so it should that bit goes in. Sure that bit goes in. Is it not? Is it not? No, that's it. That's it now. So there we go. So then all you need to do is just tie it in a bow. When you've done that, you can squeeze it in a lot tighter than it is. Like that. And then you just want to tie it in a bow. I'm faffing here now. Tie it in a bow, come on, like that. There we go. Probably not the best ribbon to have used. And then you can just cut it. So what I do to cut it is, if I want it to make it a nice, like a sort of V shape, I just double it and then cut towards it, and that gives you a nice, that kind of V. So we do exactly the same with this. I'll just double it like that and then cut a V. Try not to cut the other one. That gives you two tabs that are the V. And yeah, that's my box basically. I was going to put on a little tag, but let me see if I can work this out. I might just do it quickly. So what I want to do is to just get this, but this is going to be too big. So what I want to do is, I need to just cut that up like this. Cut that. Now, if you've got a, I suppose a tag hexagon, that is rubbish, surely. Right, I'm not going to do that. So what you could do is you could put on it a little tag, as I say, or a little something to put on it, and then you could put you could put Merry Christmas on it or something similar. Actually have got this tag. I wonder if that would work. That's quite big. So I could actually, just to finish off, I know time is rushing on, I could make this into a little tag, and then that would fit on. It's quite big, and I could have, let's see, I've got Merry Christmas somewhere, or yeah, Merry Christmas would be fine. So just let me pop this onto a block here. I'm just conscious that time is rushing on, and I'm going to get, what will I put, what colour will I use? Let's just use this so it's a grey colour, it's not too, and because it's going to hang down this way, I would just put that there like that. And then there's a little these are little stamps from Spellbinders, which I've had for a while, so we could just then add that to it. Oh, didn't stamp very well, that one. Let's try it again. Probably have a halo, it's not too bad. So you could then pop that onto the front there like that, and that would be your tag. So we can just do that. So I'm just going to put that onto the front. You could put it through the ribbon and have it as an actual tag, but I'm just going to do this for quickness. And that is my hexagon topped star top box. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Do let me know your thoughts, and I will see you on the next video, which is day 8. Bye for now.